Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM. I hope you're all having an amazing day. It's Saturday, the 7th of March 2026, and today I want to talk about you. Yeah, you. If you're listening to me, this is all about you. Alright, so what makes you, you? And if you're under attack, then those elements that make you, you, are the particular elements in the ingredients that are being used to target you specifically. It's not targeting people around you, it's specific to you. So just like a spice in a pot lets off certain aroma and flavor, you also give off your all flavorsome, spicy odor and flavor in personality and everything else. This makes you unique because you're not like a robot, and it's those elements which they are trying to eliminate. But if you're under attack of any kind, then you need to also know those elements. So also in Capital Radio, when I worked there, they did a SWOT analysis, which is a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And often your strengths were weaknesses, and your weaknesses were strengths, and your opportunities were also threats. It was very interesting, and your threats were opportunities. And in the same way, when you're under attack, the attack is a gateway to a new horizon. And the reason you're struggling is because once you get through that gateway, you're going to be on a new horizon with a new portfolio of what to do and where to go and your mission, if you like, for this earth. So the enemy doesn't want you to get to the top of the horizon. So if you can imagine you're on a hill and you're trying to go up the hill, and the enemy's throwing things at you as you're going up the hill, right? I don't know about you, but if you're going up the hill and someone keeps throwing big rocks at you, you're going to struggle. So you have to find a different way. Either you need to get a shield that bounces the rocks off you, or you need to be invisible, or you need to find maybe a frequency that would bounce these off. And a different way about normally going up a hill. So you can't just go up the hill like normal people because someone's heaving big rocks at you, all right? And nobody wants you to make it to the top of the horizon. Well, the enemies don't, but everybody in the world wants you to make it. This is what I believe. But the enemies don't, because we have enemy tribes, right? And enemy peoples here. And the enemy leader, which is the devil. And now when you get to the top of the horizon, this is like when David was talking about the valley. And the valley is a dark place, and it's lonely, it's isolating, and it can be quite hairy. So it's a valley as well as a hill where you can't really see where you're going. And it's often at this time when you're praying to God and you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere. And these are also similar to the Bible, where David would pray to God and say, "Where are you? Have you abandoned me? Have you left me?" And he gets so fed up. But then he'd praise God anyway, because he knew that there's no other way, and God is a master at doing things that are miracles. And it is only through Christ that we are redeemed and saved, but we already have the victory. So this is about words and spells and manifesting what God has for your life in this reality. And he does this with words, and the devil does it with spells. And so the spells come through to you into your life, and they cause a valley. They are the rocks that I've been talking about, that being heaved at you as you go up this hill or through the valley. What are these rocks that are being thrown that are disrupting your walk with the Lord? Each person has specific identifying markers that distinguish you from other people and have made you the subject of interest, but also a target for harassment, to stop you getting to the top of your horizon. Okay, so what I found is the main tools or rocks that they throw at you are technology. Okay, and there are certain things that you use with technology, which is teach no logic, that they can then pinpoint who you are and throw rocks at you. What are these identifying markers? Well, in my case, it's the television, television. I was just thinking about it. And actually, since I got divorced, all the way back to 2003, when I had moved out of the marital home and into my own house, I would wake up in the night and the TV would be switched on. And it would be really loud. And this is when I had the children living with me. I think they were 18 months and, or two in a bit years and just under a year old. So, and I would wake up and I'd hear the TV blaring downstairs, and I'd come down and think, what's going on here? And it would wake me up, and I'd go down and switch off the TV. And I've noticed that followed me to all the properties I've ever lived in, and TVs are a funny thing. They would switch themselves on, and they were always temperamental. So I think the TV, the television, are the magic screens that they've been using. And your TV is specific to you. And I do think that TVs record all the things that you do. I think they are magic screen things. Just like the 1984 film where he talks about these screens that watch you. I think that's what televisions are. That's what I believe now. So your television has a way to communicate with the outside world, and it transmits, I believe, everything that you're up to and records and listens to you. That's what I think. Okay, it's my conclusion. Smart TVs, much more so than the older ones. The older ones can only really communicate through the 255, 255, 255 subnet masks. All right. So on a TV, you've got a subnet mask, which is the aerial frequency that it transmits and receives messages. So those pointy things that you put on the roof, they are transmitting messages to and fro to not just your TV, but to all televisions all over the world, right? So if you've got internet, then you'll have an IP address, which also identifies you, because each computer has an IP address, and your phone also has an IP address, and your TV has an IP address. Ooh. And so your IP address is normally routed through your router. But with computers, you don't really need to connect to the internet to connect to the computer. You can do it through Bluetooth. Now TVs as well are smart, so they're a bit like the computer, and they don't need internet to communicate with the outside world. So what I've noticed with the throwing of rocks and taking over and trying to intercept elements of my life, you may find the same, and I believe it will be the same for all people listening to me today, that the 255 subnet mask, which is got 00 on the end, is the main form of communication through aerials. And they have also got a subnet mask for your phone. And your phone is also 255.255.0.0. Now, in a lot of the cases, that's what happens. But you can also, on the phone, have the subnet mask as 255.255.0.0 sort of thing. Now, if your phone is on the same subnet mask as the TV, this means that the main communication, transmission, and receiving of packets of information that identify you as you and what you're up to, going through the subnet mask on your phone and on your computer. This synchronizes everything that's going on in your device with your television. Okay. So what can you do? You can throw away your TV. If it's not a smart TV, then you might be okay. But from my point of view, the television is the biggest problem. It really is. I think, like a magic mirror, it is a portal. Because it's a witchcraft device. Because it's casting spells and programming and transmitting and receiving messages and packets of information about you all the time. I don't know if it's got listening devices inside or cameras inside, but I believe they've always had these things. The technology we have today is much more advanced than they tell you, with wireless electricity, wireless communication, and aerials. If you notice, they transmit messages through the airwaves. So in a way, the aerial is much more advanced than the Wi-Fi. Now, what I believe is that the 5G masts are transmitting at a frequency which is radio waves, which are on a similar wavelength to televisions. That's what I think. I can't see the wavelength, but that's what I think. Okay. So like I say, you cannot see Wi-Fi, and you cannot see Bluetooth, and you cannot see aerial wavelengths. And you can't really see what your phone is transmitting into the airwaves about you. And your thoughts are similar as well. They communicate at a very similar frequency and level, and they're transmitting messages in and out to the ether and to the earth and to God. And that's where you get your dreams from. They're also through those transmissions and frequencies that identify you as you, because God goes, oh, I'm just going to talk to you for a moment and give you a dream, you know. You were asking about this situation, so I'm going to give you a dream, then try and answer your questions for you, because God loves you, you know, and he communicates with us through our dream state. So lights are now Wi-Fi and sound, which are on a similar wavelength to 5G and also aerials. I've already talked to you about the fact that lights have two wires, and speakers also have two wires. Then the phone jack also has two wires. What's interesting, if you take a little charger apart for an iPhone, the wires are very interesting. You've got lots and lots of little colored strands of wires. They kind of stringy, and very fine. And if you notice, fiber is also the same. It's very, very thin, stringy sort of communication. If you take an aerial wire apart, you'll find that outside is a plastic sleeve, and then you will have some tin foil. And if you pull that back, you'll have some strands of silver, very fine wire, and all be twisted round. And then if you take that back and pull that back, then you'll have a plastic sleeve again, which if you take that off, then you'll have a copper wire inside. Interesting. So if you take a microphone apart, you have this much the same, a plastic sleeve, then you've got this silver foil, and then if you rip that back, then you've got little strands, and then you've got a plastic sleeve. Oh, and with the strands, you've also got little color wires, bit like the phone charger. They look the same. Little wires, but maybe just a little bit thicker. I think there's 3 or 4: brown, red, green, and yellow. And then inside that plastic sleeve is a copper wire as well. Interesting. So microphones are the same, really, communication as an aerial. So when you speak to a microphone, I believe it is receiving messages and transmitting messages through the same communication platforms as aerials. If you have a Bluetooth speaker like me at JBL, then you might notice that it's actually recording you. It has a microphone inside it. And why would it have a microphone inside? Because it has an aerial. Now, I took apart a Logitech speaker subwoofer thing, and inside it was very interesting. It had these little metal rings, which were, I would say, how many millimeters are they? The black ones, about 5 millimeters wide. And then I would say it's like a little ring it nearly fits around your pinky, but it's a bit smaller. And it looks like a thick black ring. And it is a metal type of substance. And I found 2 of those over some of the wires. And they were quite hard to find. And like I told you, I always take things apart. And I thought, I bet you that's a type of aerial, because I've got another radio that doesn't work with it, doesn't have an aerial stuck on it, fell off. So I've got another one of those black things, which I picked out of another device, and I don't know where it came from. And I put a wire through it and then stuck it on top of the aerial, and hey presto, I've got a signal. So I think they're a signal booster type thing. If you take an aerial part, there's a little black thing inside an aerial, and it's normally square, and the wires go through that, and it amplifies a signal, and that's what the aerial is, with wires attached to it. And you can have ones that plug in and ones that don't. So this is all about aerials and signals and frequencies and wavelengths, so which identify you, because it's all about you, right? So if you want some privacy, then you need to switch off your phone. Your SIM card also identifies you, because it's got this little IMEI number on your phone, and then you've got the SSID on your SIM card. So if someone's cloned your SIM card, they've taken over your number until you change provider, because you're going to have the same SSID even if you change SIM card with your provider. That's what I found. So if you're under attack and you're a targeted individual and they've been breaking into your house, then they would have established what your SSID is, and so it doesn't really matter how many times you go and get a SIM card. they can identify where your phone is by the SSID, and that's how they follow you and watch you and listen to you and have all of the people around you. But also, it's not just people, it's AI and technology, teach no logic, which is emitting frequencies at you. You are hunted and followed by AI through aerials, through Wi-Fi, through lights, through fire alarms, through smart meters, the smart grid, and even fob entry systems, door keys and things like this. You might want to get a pouch and start putting keys and fobs and things like this inside one of those pouches, and your credit cards also. Credit cards I found not so much of a problem, but the car keys a problem. So Bluetooth and radio is also in your car usually, so they can do things in your car and synchronize everything. So I found every time I go out in my car, everything gets synchronized to me, to the car, because they can easily access the car because it's parked on the road, and they will get into the car and modify things within the vehicle with the lights. So they did with mine anyway. So if you are of the same thinking and you are aware then now that I've told you that this is bespoke to you, then there are elements and things that you can do and take away so that you are not findable. So you stop using a SIM card, Wi-Fi and internet router. You need to get a router and you need to put it in a box or something that they cannot get to, and you cannot have an Ethernet wire popping out from it that anyone can access, because then they'll have access to your router. And you need to set it up so that your Wi-Fi is hidden, and it needs to be no plug and play, PNP, and this kind of thing. So you need to go through and learn how to set up the router. And when you're connecting to the internet, you want to make sure that it's rotating on the Wi-Fi. So when you connect to the internet on your phone, it'll give you the password and the username where you got to put it in. And then if you click that to the side, it'll ask you, or it'll just be rotating, or it'll be fixed, or it'll be no privacy. So in my phone, I have noticed I've got to keep going and switching that on. VPNs, you want to make sure you've got VPNs as well. And switch off your phone when you're not using it, and switch off your Wi-Fi when you're not using it. Get rid of your television. You can have radios and lights in the windows. If you're under attack, this will be blasting out frequencies from your home, which will confuse their frequencies because they're still trying to communicate with everything in your house, which can travel through walls. These frequencies can anyway. And as I say, I've noticed it's always been the TV, and I didn't realize until I was sitting here thinking about it how important it is, because I recently just stopped using TV now. I have an old-fashioned TV, but I have a smart Apple TV box that you can plug in, and this means I can connect to Netflix, YouTube, and all this through Wi-Fi. I don't recommend you have a home network plug-in extender system. Don't ever get one of those, because if you're under attack, then they're in your electricity, which is your network. Okay, so actually Wi-Fi is safer if it's hidden, and this kind of thing. All right, so I took out the Apple TV and I put that in a shielding box. And I noticed immediately that I felt so much better in my home. And I thought, God, that's crazy. And when my phone's not in use, I put that in a shielding box too. And I noticed the difference immediately. Because they are actually torturing you through your phone and through your TV. Sorry to tell you. And they are homing in on you through your SIM card. Your Wi-Fi, your router is also able to transmit and receive packets of information. And what I've noticed is when I was putting my Apple TV together, the last time I used it, I set it up that it was in Angola. I thought, I know that they're doing everything through this TV. I'm sure they are. And I changed the subnet mask around, and that helped. What I noticed, though, was when I was connecting to my router, it was telling me that it was in Angola. Why would my router be telling me that I'm in Angola? I haven't told my router that I'm in Angola, but I've told my TV that I'm in Angola. Well, this is because the TV and the router are synchronized, and they've decided to communicate this information. So also what I found is your phone is a magic mirror, but also all of the apps seem to have their own transmission to receive and send packets of information as well. So in the same way, I can't use a TV and I can't use a phone and I can't have a SIM card, I've also found that I can't have certain apps on the phone for very long. And when I've installed them, I'll do what I need to, and then I'll uninstall them or I'll offload them. So a lot of the apps I have problems with are WhatsApp, TikTok, Telegram, what else? CapCut, the Bible audio, always got a problem with that. All of these want to communicate with the outside world. All of them want to send out Bluetooth signals. All of them want to share my photos, want to share my location, want to check my heartbeat, want to know my blood type, and wants to, check my location, and wants permission to basically have entry into every part of my life. And what I've noticed, like with TikTok, is it's got its own IP server in London. So we've got a server for the UK. All right. When you connect on the internet on your router, you're connecting through 192.168.1.1, right? Okie dokie. And that's the whole of the UK. We're all connecting through the 192.168.1.1, just like the subnet is 255.255.255 for the TV, which are all synchronized. So with China, they've got their own IP, like we've got for England, but they've got it just for TikTok in London. And their IP is 192.168.1.16, I think. Something other, slightly different, but its IP address, landing server is in London. And I found that when I was using TikTok, I wasn't going through my own IP. I was going through TikTok. And so when I checked the back end of the phone, I was indeed connecting through the web to TikTok. And I don't know if this is because my phone has been hacked and the people who are doing this are duplicating everything, and they do that already with WhatsApp. So they do everything through WhatsApp web and Microsoft web. So Microsoft and Facebook and WhatsApp and Messenger, they're all connected. Bill Gates, who did the vaccine, is also the guy that created Microsoft. And also Meta, Facebook, and WhatsApp, also created by the same guy. Now, well, owned by the same guy. And that is Mr. Zuckerberg. Now, Mr. Zuckerberg is sort of the leader on profiling all the people of Earth so that they can put you in the metaverse. Everything is through that. Now, what I found is, because of the SSID on your SIM card, as soon as I put my SIM card in any device near me, then they can find what WhatsApp I'm on and synchronize everything to WhatsApp. And then what they do is they send photographs or images or links which are embedded to track, follow, and whatever. And it doesn't actually matter if you open the link, whether you click the link. If they send you the link, if they are in your phone straight away. Only thing you can do is delete the app and reinstall it, or wipe the phone. It's that drastic. Otherwise, they'll be in your device and it'll be everything. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you how I've managed to have some control over my life and my phone. Everything is on a need-to-know basis in my house, and everything is on a need-to-use basis as well. So my fridge is only operated for a couple of hours a day because it only needs that. And I save a lot of money on electricity. I think my electricity bill is £20 a month. My washing machine, the same. It's unplugged and it's only switched on when I want to use it. And the drain pipe is also not connected up unless I am using it, because I know that there's all sorts of things that are being put into the drain pipes, and I don't want anything going into my washing machine that shouldn't be going in, although the water feed I can't control. This is all about you and what identifies you. So your phone identifies you only if it has distinguishing elements that identify you. And those elements are your telephone number, your SIM card, and your iCloud address. So once they've got that information, then they can locate that device because it has an EMI number on an Apple phone anyway. So if you want us to stop, change your name, if you want to be drastic, and go and get a new phone and a new number and move house. All at the same time. Yay! But if you can't do that, like I can't, because you run businesses and things, even though they pretty much destroyed those, what you can do is buy new phones and set them up as safely as you can with alternative numbers. And that will buy you a bit of time. In my case, they've taken over all the telephone numbers that I use now, because I've changed my number twice. And so now I've got 3 numbers, and now it's more complicated. But so, for example, like Telegram, I kept having problems, and I knew it was because of my number. So I tried to use one of my other numbers, and it said that those numbers are already registered on Telegram. But I haven't registered them on Telegram. But the people who are hacking me and stalking me have done this. Yeah. So you might have similar things. What I found, it doesn't matter what SIM card you get. They are able to find out what the number is and then do an eSIM. And this isn't a network thing. This is a phone thing. So any phone that is after the SE and the so anything up to an iPhone 8 doesn't accept an eSIM. So those are the devices I recommend are safe. Only really 8, because the 7s are automatically connecting to the telephone network for the SIM card, auto connect. Now with the other phones I can check, and it's automatically connecting up to the fake telephone masts that are all around us. And those are transmitting and receiving your packets of information. So if you want to limit the damage, then you need to be careful what device you've got, because otherwise they'll be in the device. I have had success with an iPhone 6, sort of, as well, by just making it so that nothing works on it apart from the telephone number. But because everything's so smart now, it's quite hard. So I recommend if you're going out, don't take your phone with you. Lock it away in a safe. And if they are getting into your safe and they're coming into your home like they were with me, then what you can do is get a box and sellotape the box up and then write all over the box with your signature so that if anybody takes this apart, you'll know. And that's what I recommend. And then put it in the safe. And that might help you too. I don't run the lights either, and I don't run the fire alarms. I avoid those. Why? Because they're all part of a central network. Yeah, I don't like that. And things like my boiler, again, it's become the same as the washing machine and the fridge. I cannot run the boiler without everything synchronizing and somebody taking over my internet and hacking my phone. So I just don't use the boiler now, and I don't have any heating on. I don't have a fridge on, and I don't have a washing machine on. And I switch off the power most of the time when I'm not using everything. Sometimes I will just go online, do what I need to do, and then I'll switch off all the power. And I guess you could call it fasting to the Lord, where I've sort of switched off all teach, no logic technology, just to have some normal time with the Lord. Back to the 80s, if you like, where we didn't have phones and all of those sort of smart computers. It's only very recently, in 1997, that they had internet released and the World Wide Web. So it wasn't that long ago, 29 years ago. And before this, we really didn't have the same problems. But now everything's smart. Everything. So I would get rid of those sort of things. With your Bluetooth speakers, you need to learn how to reset them. And if you cannot reset them, you must get rid of them. Okay. If you're going to use your Bluetooth speaker, you should be prepared to wipe your phone afterwards. Because through Bluetooth, I can clone your phone, I can take over your phone, and I can take over your SIM card. Yes, I can. And I can also take all of your data off your device and put it on my spare device here. I can then hack your router and get into everything, all through Bluetooth. So if you've got a Bluetooth camera, Ring camera, then I can get in through that as well. Isn't it madness? So I've got a Ring camera and I can't use it. I've got Bluetooth speakers which I can't use. I've got an Apple TV I cannot use. I have a TV I just will not use now, because if I plug in an aerial, then everybody will be into that as well. I noticed that if the radio is loud enough, then the neighbors can hear it. Then they're also listening to the same radio station because they're synchronizing everything. Okay, I like Classic FM, and so I noticed that one time all the power was off, and I could hear Classic FM playing from my neighbor. I thought, right, I'll switch on Radio 2 now and see. And I made sure it was loud enough to hear. And sure enough, the next time I heard his radio going, it was Radio 2. I was like, I'm not imagining it. Everything I'm talking about, I've verified, checked, and done. I can clone your phone, I can hack your phone, I can take over your SIM card, all through Bluetooth. I wouldn't say this unless I could do it. I did it by accident. Yeah. If you have a computer what I would do if I were you is I would reinstall Windows, and I would make sure that it's not auto-connect to the Wi-Fi, and I'd go into the BIOS, and if you don't know how to do that, I'd learn how to do that, and switch off Bluetooth and switch off Wi-Fi, and then I would purposely go into the network settings and disable the connection through Ethernet port as well, the Ethernet connections. Why? Because when you're out, if you've got what I've got, then you've got home invasions, and they'll be coming in and putting the computer into the router and setting everything up. So how can you stop them getting into your computer? Because you can't lock your computer. Well, you can put it into a plastic bag, and then you can sellotape it up, and then you can write your signature all over the plastic bag to seal that bag, and then do another 2 or 3 bags. And each time you do it, it'll be quite an effort to get back into it, and you'll know if anybody's been into it. So this is what I recommend. If you can, you don't really want to keep the computer in the house, but if you haven't got anywhere else to put it, it's a problem. So, the other thing, you can try to work out what it is that's giving you a headache, like I did, is you can go to the supermarket and you can buy those bags that have got the silver lining inside, which are to keep the food warm or cold, depending on which one it is. And you can also buy these little bags for children in the children's sort of lunchbox section, and they make great little bags to put smart devices in when you're going out and you want to carry your phone with you. Put it in one of those poucher bags and you can't find a phone. So so I got one of those big bags, and what I did is I tried out, because I didn't know what it was that was giving me the headache, what was connecting. So I got the Bluetooth speakers and I put them in the bag. I got microphones, put them in the bag. I've also got other speakers, which also seem to trigger things, so I thought I'll put those in the bag. And microphones in the bag, and a radio, which was also Bluetooth radio. I put that in the bag. And everything seemed to stop. I was like, oh. But everything would start again when I put on the Apple TV. So then the Apple TV also went into its own little isolation bag. And once they got into the router also went into one of those bags. And this is how I'm able to have a little bit of peace. And I lock all my windows and my doors. If I leave any window open, then people are coming into my home. And modifying things. So you really want to keep it so that people are not coming in the house. So this is what I recommend. It's all about those rocks which are being hurled at you to stop you getting to your horizon. Now the horizon is actually right there. It's like a mirror world, and you're already at the top of the horizon, but you don't realize that. So because it's also spiritual, invisible rocks that they're throwing at you, that's where prayer comes in, because everything is activated in the spiritual world and manifests into the physical world. So I recommend that you pray, you carry Bibles, and you anoint your doors, and you put scripture in your windows as well. Have lamps in all the windows and little radios, all tuned into different radio channels, and also get yourself some blackout blinds, a blackout window tinting for the car, and use that in your house. And also get some blackout blinds. If you can afford it, get them professionally done in the windows, so that when you pull your blinds down, it's nice and dark, because those lights that they're pointing that activate the stuff. Stop using your toilet. If you're a man, pee in a bottle, and if you're a woman, pee in a pot. And seal up all your taps and all of your drains and all of your fan areas as well. If you want a good night's sleep, switch on all the lights and switch off everything else on the main power. I put the fan on as well. Because they use the lights to do everything. And the other thing is, turn the volume down on your phone. And go through the phone on the privacy settings and make sure the phone's any app hasn't got access to anything. Try that also, and that will really help you. Yeah, that's what I recommend. What else is there? If you get a new device, new iPhone or new phone, don't use a SIM card in it. Just use it like a computer to connect. Get yourself one of those little mobile routers that you can get, and you can put a SIM card inside. The EE do them. They're really nice. And you can set it up so your Wi-Fi is invisible when you're going out, and you can use the data on your phone number. And then they cannot clone that SIM card onto another device because it's now in a little router. Oh. That really flummoxed everything for them. So that's that. Oh, and from some general pampering now, I want to talk about how to pamper yourself if you've now got the peace and quiet after doing those things and trying out those things. You might decide after you've done this, you go, right, I can't have my Bluetooth speakers anymore, and I can't have an Apple TV, and I can't have a smart TV, and I probably need a new router. Because you could get the router right, and you can put it also in that silver bag. Get a couple of these silver bags and just try it and see if you have less headaches when those things are in the bag. And then you can do one at a time. Take out the router, switch on the router. We'll get a headache again. Okay? All right. With the bathroom, this is very important. Your private areas are where they get the stuff, the nano, into you, and you're breathing it in. So I recommend that you lotion up. Lotion up. Get some cooking oil, or baby oil, or whatever oil, and put a little bit of rosemary. You can cook some rosemary in a pot, boil it, and put that into a jar or a container, and then start using that as a spray on your body. You can also do self-tan. Rosemary is just lovely. I really love rosemary because it encourages growth on your skin. You can also get rosemary oil and also orange peel and rice, puffed rice, very nice. Start eating puffed rice and maybe putting it in the bottom of your conditioner. A little bit of puffed rice in the bottom of the conditioner and the shampoo. With toothpaste, don't buy the cheap one because this will decay your teeth. Big problems. If it has a black stripe or a red stripe on the back of the toothpaste, it's a bad toothpaste and it's no good, right? So I know from experience because I brushed my teeth and then I had toothache. And I was like, oh. Then my friend said, has it got a red stripe on it? I was like, yeah. She said, that's a bad one. You can't use it. So go and spend the extra few pounds and get a good toothpaste. Get one for sensitive teeth. A lot of this is done through the mouth, and what you're eating with nano, and then it's activating through fillings and all the other things. So invest a little bit more in your toothpaste, and this will help you also. And then for your body, I recommend you get a salt scrub. You can make a salt scrub with bicarbonate soda and coconut. Really good at taking off makeup. You can do the mask for your face with the coconut and bicarb as well. Make you feel beautiful, really lovely. Put it on for an hour and then scrub it off, and then get some aloe vera, pop some aloe vera on your face, and fan the aloe vera until it's dry with a fan. And you will feel your face tighten up, and 10 years will come off your face. Be amazing. Really. Aloe vera is lovely. I haven't got any at the moment, but I used to always use it. And I'd use it as a hair gel as well. Really good. So, something about oranges. So, boiled orange peels, drunk as a drink with, with some honey or something. Also very nice. And Indian spices. Very good. Start having curries more. They really help you with what's going on in the world. All right. And what else? Oh, yes. Get yourself a nice scrubbing brush for the bathroom. And shave all the bits and pieces of your privates and diddly down. Recommend the coconut and bicarb to be applied on your private areas and armpits and boobies and feet, if affective areas. So if they're vibrating or they're feeling not normal and there's something not right because you've exposed yourself to certain things, then that will really soothe it and make it feel better. The other thing to get is a bit of Damascus earth with olive oil, and you can also use that as a face scrub and make a tub of it in the bathroom and apply that over your body before you get out of the bath. And this will make your skin soft, and also you can scrub it and it will get rid of any of the nonsense that they've been putting on you. Okay. And with your hair, a bit of rice water, always very nice. Some oils, as I say, a bit of oils like rosemary, jojoba oils are very good for the hair. I found that a lot of the products make my hair dry that you buy, so I've started to explore using different things on my hair. And you might like that also. Like if you're a man and your hair's always wonky to one side, it's irritating, isn't it? Right? So try what I said with getting some jojoba oil, mixing in a little bit of rosemary oil, make a little jar of it or a spray bottle of it, and just spray a little bit on your hair and use that instead of shampoo, and just see how you get on. You might find your hair's in much better condition and feels nicer. Women the same. All right. It's Ayesha from God FM. I hope this helps you. These are things that I've done that have helped me. Make coils. So you get thick wire, loop it around three times. So the size of the loop is from the hand all the way to the bottom of the elbow. 3 loops that way, and then loop the wire all the way around. Really tight. And then tie it together at the top and put that on top of your smart meter. And that will stop a lot of the stuff. So if you've got some old wiring lying around, that really works really nicely. Or you could put it or lean it on the wall that the smart meter's on, and that will also help you. Definitely you want to get some magnets also. Fishing magnets, 500 kilo or 300 or 250 kilo pickup. And carry one in your handbag or carry one in your pocket. And if you've got a headache coming, rub it on the back of your head and give yourself a head massage or a body massage with your magnet. If you can afford it, buy 8 or so magnets and then lie them all on your chakras and lie in your bed. And this will also help you as well. So, what else is there? So many things. Get yourself a blow-up mattress. If you're really struggling with backache and stuff, get a blow-up mattress, stick it in the lounge, sleep on the blow-up mattress, and see how you feel in the morning. Or get yourself a yoga mat and sleep on the yoga mat somewhere in the house. And just try that. Because it could be the bed that's giving you problems. All right. All right. And try switching off the power as well. All right. Love you lots. It's Ayesha from God FM. If you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple X, as well as TikTok. And Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, God FM Group, and God FM Media. And you can email me, admin@godfm.org.uk, and you can WhatsApp me, +44 777 77788. Remember that the Lord loves you, and so do I, and He is only one phone call away. In fact, He's right next to you now. He's right with me now, and He's with you now too also. Say hello to the Lord. Hello, Lord. Hello, Lord. How are you doing? You are clever, Lord, aren't you? How you can be in so many places at once. And He is. He's amazing. And don't forget that He's there for you. This is a journey between you and the Lord together against those things that are being hurled at you. And it's the Lord that will get you to the horizon top. Only the Lord. There's no other way through. All right. Have a great day. Just also remember the Sabbath. Oh, quickly before I go, the pink salt, Himalayan salt, is the one I told you about. This is the snake diet that I told you about online for people who are overweight and can't lose weight. The snake diet, where you drink the salt water and you fast. But also, there's something in the salt water. So the Himalayan salt, if you make up some salty water and just drink some of that, I recommend you do this. This will help you as well, because it make your blood a little bit more salty. All right. Love you lots. Kiss, kiss. It's Ayesha from God FM. Take care.